Good afternoon, collectors. How are you all this afternoon? It's great to be with you, and I'm really happy to have Kiri Nefstead join us this afternoon. Kiri, as many of you know, has been our resident sculptor for Department 56 for 25 years? Almost?
More, I think.
More?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Long time. And she is now also one of our accessory designers, and you've been doing that for the last couple of years. How do you like that change?
I love it. It's great to learn something new and just keep growing my skills in a new direction.
But sculpting is very different from two-dimensional drawing.
Oh yeah, very different.
Do you think being a sculptor helps you?
Yes, because I'm already visualizing it as a three-dimensional object. I think a lot of people have trouble with that.
I sure would. Yeah, definitely. Well, this is great. And Kiri's going to talk to us a little bit about some of the new accessories for the Dickens Village 40th anniversary. When I was preparing for this, I thought, gosh, Dickens Village, 40 years. That means we started this village in 1984. Some of you probably weren't even born then. But a lot of our collectors have started a lot more recently than that, so I thought I would give you a very brief introduction into how this village started. There was a man here in the Twin Cities, and we will show you a picture of who this is. This is Neeland Lund. Is that looking good? All right, great. Neeland Lund was a graphic designer and in charge of graphic design for a local company that some of you may have heard of. It was called General Mills. And he had an idea for some paper products based on some Christmas decorations that he and his family used over the years. And they had a Christmas tree skirt in their house, as a matter of fact, and it was embroidered, and it was a felt Christmas tree skirt, and it had a little village of London town around the outside. And it was a tradition in Neeland's family that he read a Christmas carol to his family every Christmas Eve. So Neeland had this idea for some paper goods like note cards and maybe paper bags and some tins and things like that. And he brought this idea to our then president of our company, the founder, Ed Bazinet, and made this suggestion and was kind of, Ed, are you interested in something like this? And Ed had a light bulb moment, and he said, yes, but not for paper goods. Although we did do some paper goods and some tins. You might have some tins in your home that had the shops of Dickens Village around the outside. What Neeland ended up designing were the first shops of the Dickens Village. So what Neeland designed, Ed thought, we can do another type of village because, like I always use the example of cars. You have Chevys, you have Fords. Some people like Chevys, some people like Fords, some people like to drive a Toyota. We all have our preferences. We've been doing the original Snow Village since 1976. So Ed thought, let's do these villages out of a different medium. Let's use porcelain. We can make them a little smaller in scale, give them a little more detail, give them a matte finish, and then collectors will have a choice. Shinier finish on the Snow Village, a little bigger in scale. Dickens Village then became a smaller matte finish. So I don't think Neeland had any idea how popular this village would become. So he was drawing villages fast and furious, and in a couple of years, probably about 1990, he needed some help. So he enlisted the help of someone many of you may have met, and that was his daughter, Barbara Lund. And Barbara would help her dad after he drew the front version of things, and she would continue and do the side and the back versions because, of course, of the drawings, because, of course, when we send these things overseas, they needed to look at all four sides of the buildings, and that's how Barb got her start in this industry. Neeland passed away in 2009, and Barb continued to design these pieces until she retired in 2019. After that, the primary artist was Tom Bates, who was a natural for this position because he really has an attention to detail and a real affinity to looking at the architectural details of things and loves the historical accuracy on things. So Tom primarily does that, although some of our other artists have done some of the pieces as well. So that's just a little background on how we've done Dickens Village over the last 40 years. This year, let's bring this piece front and center. This is our 40th anniversary piece for Dickens Village. It is called Culpeper's Ruby Jewelry. And tradition tells us that gemstones are associated with wedding anniversary, and that goes back, they said, to ancient times.
Oh, wow.
I didn't realize it was that long ago. And the origin of the ruby for the 40th anniversary is not entirely clear, but it's believed to have been established in the early 20th century. The first recorded mention of it dates back to 1922 when there was a list of traditional wedding gifts published in the Chicago Tribune. So this particular piece, the Culpeper's Ruby Jewelers, comes from the fact that the building had housed, before it became a jewelry store, it had been an herbalist shop run by a man in London whose name was Nicholas Culpeper, who was known for growing and using medicinal plants and herbs. When the jeweler moved in, he kept the sign on the first level indicating horological supplies, and horological is a term that is used for timekeeping and watch parts. So he not only sold watches and clocks, they also made and repaired them. So they kept the name Culpeper's simply because it was already on the building, and signs were expensive back at that time, so he was fine with keeping the name. And let's just do a little turnaround and let you see the details of the building. I think the front is really pretty. I love the hanging clock out in front. It has a little ruby crystal on it.
Classy.
It's very classy looking. It really is. It has some nice signage on it that indicates what's going on in that building. And it's a little different color than some of our other buildings, which I think adds a little nice variety to that. Yeah. So, Carrie, why don't you tell us, and we love hearing the stories about these accessories because they do have stories, don't they?
They do.
Okay.
They usually do.
All right. So we could put this up on
Or put it next to that.
or next to it. We could certainly do that.
So the accessory that goes with the building is this fine gentleman who is holding a ruby. So he's got an actual little gemstone in his hand.
And that is a crystal gem.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So it's not porcelain.
And he has a little monocle in his eye for looking at his gemstone.
That's right. Jewelers do usually
to
wear
see
that.
the detail.
Okay.
And the piece is called Too Pretty to Pellet because he's deciding that, oh, this is too nice of a gemstone to use in a watch.
Because then that gemstone would be broken up.
Right. And now it can remain a gemstone for jewelry. But he turned out quite nice.
Yeah, I love him with the little walking stick. That's
with the walking stick, and he actually has the little chain to his monocle.
he does.
And the tiny gemstone. So this piece turned out great.
You get a look at that? Okay. And I see you have.
Oh yes, I have the art. So this is the main view, the color view. And I also have the side views and the top view because you need all that information for the people who do the sculpting of the figures.
Yeah, how far forward is his foot and
Right.
placement and things like that. Yeah. Very good. Very good. Okay. And what do we have next?
the aviary.
The aviary. Now the aviary, let's take a look at the bottom of this piece first, because then we can show you on the piece the detail of the bottom stamps of this. It shows Dickens Village, and it has a specially designed bottom stamp for the 40th anniversary, and then of course the name of the piece and our Department 56 logo. So everything for the 40th anniversary will have that special bottom stamp, and that is on the packaging as well. And this piece, the aviary, was designed to go with the Zoological Society, the London Zoo, that we introduced a year or so ago. We have the giraffe house, and we have I can't remember.
We had lions and elephants.
Thank you. Couldn't remember what they were. I just remember the giraffes
I know that
they're my
because
favorite.
I drew the lions and the elephants.
There you go. There you go. And do we know which kind of elephants they were? Were they back trained or no? Those are
that's
camels.
camels.
Never mind.
I suppose it would be Asian or African.
Yeah.
But we've got birds in there.
Yeah. And did you do this piece or just
No, Tom did the.
Tom did this piece, and it looks like there's a toucan and maybe some other birds. I'm not sure that they would put them all together, but it makes for a colorful interior. And this one does light. I don't have the adapter available to show you how it lights, but it really is a cute little piece and a nice addition to the Zoological Society. And the accessory that you did?
The accessory is this fancy lady who, with her pet lovebird, and having birds and an aviary is definitely something that the high class people would do.
In Victorian times.
In Victorian times.
Yeah, I just read a book, and the woman had a pair of lovebirds, and she was royalty. So yeah, that's definitely something that I don't know if they're hard to keep, or if you need a lot of space, or what. But she's lovely with her lovely lovebirds. So you've got some pictures of that as well.
Right. The art for.
And this would have been very typical of the type of clothing that would have been worn by someone on the upper crust in London.
Right. It's got a lot of fancy detailing.
Really pretty.
We also have a little illustration of lovebirds just to get the details right.
Okay. And now I see two there, but you've only got one on the accessory. So
it's just easier for her to hold one lovebird.
Yeah, two would be kind of tough anyway, wouldn't it? Yeah. Okay. And then that will also, now you can't see it with this because
it's got a sticker on it.
It's got some other stickers on it, but the accessory will have the same Department 56 logo and the 40th anniversary logo for Dickens Village. And these will only be available this year. So if these are things you want to add to your village, do it this year, or they'll be flown away. Okay. Now we've got one more that we want to talk about, and I think you've got some.
Yes, this is our inaugural Father Christmas piece. And
that one's really got some nice detail.
He is great. He turned out so wonderful.
So this is a brand new little accessory series that you're going to.
It will be an ongoing series in Dickens Village. So he's holding his staff, and it was traditional in Victorian times that Father Christmas the tradition of Father Christmas goes back hundreds of years in England. But earlier he was sort of this figure that represented feasting. It was more of an adult thing. It was just feasting and celebrating. And in Victorian England, it was much more about gift giving for children. So, celebrating children had become a bigger thing, so he started carrying toys with him. So he's got a basket of toys on
Yeah,
one
and that
arm.
basket I noticed is really it actually.
It's actually a separate piece.
Yeah, wow, that's
And it was also traditional for him to carry a little tree with him
because Father Christmas brought.
because,
The
yeah, he
Christmas
brought the stuff. And he's got a little year of production, well, not year of production, but the year of issuance little medallion that's on his staff.
Okay.
So that says
And
2024.
why green? I thought Father Christmas was red.
Well, the idea of Father Christmas and Santa Claus kind of merged. Like they were basically representing the same thing, but Father Christmas went back further. And in earlier representations, he wasn't necessarily wearing red. But as you got into Victorian times, there were illustrations of Father Christmas wearing green or even blue.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So will we see Father Christmas wearing other colors?
We will.
Ooh.
I'm actually working on the next year's Father Christmas, so he will be similar but different.
And this will be something that is also just a year of production piece. So again, if this is something you really like, get it this year. And I think he would work very well in Christmas in the City as well
Totally.
as Dickens Village. So I would think outside the box on where you're going to use them. Or if you're, like some of the other accessory series we've done, if you've got a cute little shelf and you just want to do just those
Right.
accessories, I think that would be a real
That
cute
would be
little
neat.
series to start. Very good. Okay, well those are just, and you have pictures?
Oh, yes, I do have the art of Father Christmas.
Yeah,
Where
really,
he's got
really
all
lots of
his-
detail.
His basket of toys, there's a lot of detail in that.
And his white beard and the gold tunic.
Yep.
And he stands how tall? Yeah, I think you got him. You've got
2.3 inches
So
from
that-
his feet to his head.
That's a lot of detail in such a tiny
Right.
little space. Just not even 2.5 inches.
They did a good job.
Yeah, they really did. And he's porcelain.
And we should also mention his coat is flocked,
Okay, just to give him some,
just to make it more special.
because it's the inaugural year.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Well, speaking of things that are new and different and just absolutely wonderful this year, I think our whole art team, you and Scott and Paul and Tom, had just done a fabulous job with things this year. One of the things people are talking about is this piece here, and this is called the Full Moon Lit Backdrop. Let's see if I can get it to do what I wanted to. Look at
Yes.
that. This is just this is porcelain, and I think Amy's gonna shut the lights down so we can maybe see it a little better. There we go. Better? Good, good. And what's special about this piece, other than it is an absolutely stunning accessory to look at, it is almost 10 inches tall, so this happens to be a Dickens Village piece, but you'll be able to see that most pieces, you can put a piece in front of it, and the moon will still show. You don't even have to have it on a riser, so I think this is just an absolutely wonderful piece. Now, you can use, I'm going to show that the different lighting effects. There it is. There's a blue moon. I happen to really like the purple moon. I don't know why, but I do.
It's cool.
Green. So there's all these choices on the remote control. So you can have it in your display and use that for the on and off. And just have a really great time with this. When I was talking to Tim Haney, our VP of product development, about this, he said, They did a little bit of experimentation with this piece and painted this part of it white and made it look, and put some glitter on it and made it look like it was part of North Pole. So there's some options if you're really into this and want to use it in more than one village. You know, that obviously the white would look really cool, but put some glitter on it and make it part of North Pole. So I just think this is a stunning accessory, and it's the one I'm really excited about this year. Here, I'm pressing on, trying to get it to go off. There we go.
It is so cool.
Yeah, nice little, tiny little remote that works really well for it. There's a little sensor on the back. Kind of looks like an on-off switch, but it's not. That's the sensor that makes this work. So that's just a really cool piece. Move that over. So when you got your announcement about today's Facebook Live, we mentioned a little something about that we will be hosting something called an estate sale. This is something going to probably start in July, and will be an online auction. And I don't know, if you've ever cleaned out a closet or the attic or a storage unit in the garage and found things you didn't remember that you even had, or that you've forgotten you had, or found you had multiples of the same item. I certainly have done that. Well, that's what's happened here at Department 56. And because we love our collectors so much, we wanted to share our good fortune and our finds with all of you. And so for the next few weeks, starting sometime in July, we will be offering a variety of village lots. The auction will last 1 week, and then it will go down, and a whole new group of treasured retired Department 56 pieces, accessories, and landscaped items will be posted. So visit often and bid on your favorites. There might be something that you've had on your wish list for years, or a piece that's missing its accessory, or something you broke. This is an opportunity for you to fill in those gaps or fill in those missing pieces. Or if you're a newer collector, you can find some great older pieces that you didn't even know existed before. So take a look, come back every week and see what we've added that's new. Everything that will be part of the estate sale will come packaged from Department 56 here in Eden Prairie. So once the bids have been accepted by you, then we will get those shipped out, and you'll have just a great time looking at some of these things online. There'll be more information coming, I'm sure, by email and up on our website as we get closer to. We're almost a month away from it now, and we've got a few things to iron out yet, and we'll get these packages all pulled together and offer the best packages that we can to you. And speaking of summer, now that it is summer and we all have lots of things going on, may we suggest visiting one of our favorite places to go, and I know you've been there a couple of times, and that is visiting the UNESCO Gallery and Gift Shop in Memphis. That is home to the Museum of Department 56 Villages that I think you can probably spend half a day at.
Yeah,
Just looking.
Just so much stuff there.
Yeah. What was your favorite part there?
Oh, kind of hard to pick, but I thought the displays ended up being so amazing.
They really were. Yeah, we've got displays of a lot of our retired pieces. We've got a lot of our older Snow Village pieces. We've got a wonderful video that shows how our pieces are made, how the story of how our whole company started. And then in the gift shop, there are some things that you can't get anyplace else. So if you've got a trip planned and can make a little side trip to Memphis, great place to go. And of course, it's right across the street from Graceland. So it'll be a twofer kind of deal.
Lots of fun things to see there.
Absolutely, absolutely. That certainly is a neat place to visit as well, as Curie and I both have been there recently. So we'll be taking a little break as well with vacations and picnics and gardening and out-of-door activities taking up our time this summer. We'll be taking a little break, and we'll be back in September for our Facebook Lives, and our first one this fall will be Thursday, September 5th, 4 p.m. Central. Till then, we'll see you all. Bye-bye. Happy summer.
Bye.